To get them going, and as these two players came together, our understanding is that Sanapa, who's in the game as well, he and Churla having words, and Van Dorp came into it. But I'll tell you, Churla certainly made his presence felt as he and Van Dorp got into it, and Van Dorp left the ice, and he was just bleeding quite profusely. We don't know exactly the nature of the injury, but that's not where it ended, because all of these players on the ice right now grabbing onto each other as this continued. This went on for about 12 minutes, I believe it was, as we tried to clock it here in the warm-up.
Look at Van Dorp. He's the one without the shirt. Mike Gartner has his arm around him now. That is Wayne Van Dorp. The blood pulsing out of him, and the other shirtless guy is Shane Churla. But now things are about to get general. First it was just these two guys and everybody else milling around, but you knew that wouldn't last for long.
It certainly wouldn't. As other players are grabbing on, of course, you got McRae and Secord as well on the ice.
Had tried to break it up, but look at Pierre Paget.
Well, I give the North Star coaches a lot of credit. They came onto the ice. The Chicago coaches did not.
No.
But that was Doug Jarvis, led by, it was Craig Hartsburg, who came on first of all onto the ice to try to get his players back into the dressing room. Then out came Dame Chambers, and also Doug Jarvis, and Pierre stood in the doorway, and finally they got them down to the end. But at the Chicago end, there were no coaches to be seen. But of course, all the action was down the other end as well. But this went on, and the players certainly did not finish their warm-up. They should be warmed up as it is right now. A little bit of cleaning up before they could get things underway here.
Look at all that. There was most of that anyway, as the North Stars prepare to meet the Chicago Blackhawks. Buckle your seatbelts. This could be a dandy. We'll be right back.
Instrumental in what's happened in this first period and how the game has gone so far, number 17, Basil McRae. And I guess, Basil, the incident in the pregame warm-up here, fisticuffs taking place, everybody's fighting, pushing, shoving. What happened?
Well, division games, you know, we were all pumped up for the game. I think they were too. And I think it was just, you know, a matter of there was a lot of talking there at center ice, and one guy went over the line, and it just erupted from there. I don't think it was anything premeditated or anything like that. It just erupted right from you know, from center ice when both teams line up there during the warm-up. So, you know, it's unfortunately none of our guys got hurt anyway. So, you know, when we came out, we played a good 20 minutes. So I think those things happen. You know, they don't happen too often, and you know, there was no real sucker shots or anything like that out there. So it was maybe just a bunch of boys having good, clean fun.
Before the puck was even dropped, and each team could be fined up $25,000 for tonight's antics. Minnesota and Chicago. Chicago's Wayne Van Dorp took on Minnesota's Shane Churla 25 minutes before the game even started. More Van Dorp versus Churla. The brawl apparently lasted around 10 minutes, and you can see the results here. Take a look at Van Dorp's face following this brutal melee.
McRae was suspended by the NHL for 5 games in January for his part in the December pregame brawl at Chicago. An altercation he says both teams now regret.
When the altercation first broke out, I wasn't really near, you know, the center ice line. I was more down deeper in our zone. So I think everyone involved in that pre-game, you know, ruckus is, you know, feels bad about it. You know, we don't want it to happen again.
The game hadn't even begun with both teams warming up when everybody went at it. Both teams are going to be fined about $25,000 apiece as per a league rule for this thing. It was an all-out brawl that lasted some 10 minutes.